All right, let's take a breath because if there's ever been a day that started with a punch, it was that one. Picture this. I walk out to the end of my driveway just as the morning light starts creeping over the asphalt, a mug of not quite hot enough coffee in one hand, and in the other a fat cream-colored envelope. Stamped received in red, just in case the formal notice itself didn't feel enough like a slap. Before I even got my boots muddy before work or anything else, I'm standing there, neighbors eyeing me from behind the bulletin board while my phone goes off and some SUV from the HOA idles a little too close like they're waiting to see if I brake. And right there on my truck hood with the deed from the county records map line clear as day, no transfer dates and the county seal screaming at anyone willing to look, I knew this was different. This wasn't about bills or a coupon for a free rotisserie chicken. This was trouble, the kind you can feel right behind your eyes. I opened the mailbox, and that thick envelope with the Maplewood Estates Homeowners Association letterhead just stared me down. I could practically hear the sprinklers down the hill, birds hopping on gravel, the whole world doing its thing while my whole life apparently was about to get detoured. I tore it open, and there it was in black and white. Pursuant to the association's bylaws, your access to the entrance road serving your property is suspended pending compliance review. Read it again. Slower. My throat went tight. I just stood there dumb while a truck rolled past the driver, slowing just long enough to remind me that in a small place like this, privacy is just a rumor. Shoved the notice into my jacket. Couldn't decide if it was going to burn through or freeze me. The entrance stone pillars, the HOA sign, flowers so perfectly arranged it was almost aggressive, looked more like a postcard than the way into my own home. And right there at eye level, pinned to the bulletin board for God and everyone to see, was my name. Access control update. Effective immediately. See HOA office for authorization. A couple stood there, steam rising from their coffee. "That's you?" the man asked. "Yeah, it's me." His wife eyed the road like she was expecting a secret back exit to open up. "But you live past the creek, right? There's no other way." "No, there isn't." The man fidgeted. "Maybe it's a mistake." Before I could answer, a white SUV rolled up, perfect timing, right? Door opens and out steps Helena Whitmore. She's got that presence, the type jacket, too neat, sunglasses making sure you know who's in charge. Some guy in a polo follows her, clipboard in hand. She's all business. "Jake Morrison," she says like I'm a bad memory. "Good. You saw it." "I saw it all right." "The HOA controls the entrance," she says. "Controls or owns?" I ask, and her smile tightens. "Our covenants grant authority for the benefit of the community." A lot of words, I tell her. None explain how you can shut me out of my own property. The clipboard guy chimes in. "There have been compliance concerns, unapproved vehicle storage, improper use, risk to property values." "Property values? You mean my old truck?" Helena cuts him off, waves a hand. "This isn't personal. It's procedure." I pull the notice out, hold it up, try to keep my hand steady. "This says you're suspending my access, effective immediately." Helena steps closer inside my space. "Yes. Until you meet standards." That word lands like a slap. Standards. "You realize you're not blocking a street. You're blocking my house." She tilts her head. "You can request authorization." "And if I don't?" Her smile is cold. "Then you'll learn how serious the association is about enforcement." For a second, the normal world is back. The sprinklers, the bulletin board flapping, birds, distant lawnmower, but it feels like everything could tip at any second. Now you tell me, what would you do if someone tried to lock you out of your own life with paperwork? So I ask, if the entrance is theirs, why does my deed still show it under my name? For a split second, I see something flicker in her expression. The clipboard guy stops writing. Helena snaps back. "Your deed doesn't change our authority. Be careful, Mr. Morrison." I fold the notice up, edges crisp, and try to keep my patience from snapping. That was it, they'd shut me out. And now I needed to find out if the entrance they depended on was really theirs at all. My phone starts buzzing, emails, voicemails, each one a little more urgent than the last. By the time I sit in the diner booth, the screen is lit up like a dashboard before a crash. HOA compliance notice. Follow-up required. Final reminder. Voicemails. Helena perfectly polite, warning me to comply before things escalate. Another message: residents have expressed concern regarding your situation. They weren't just squeezing me, they were squeezing everyone. Called Sarah Martinez. Real estate attorney office smells like lemon cleaner and worry. She listens to the voicemails, hands crossed, face sharp. They shut you out first, she says. That matters. I tell her they're acting like I'm the problem. She nods. They want you to be. If you react wrong, they'll say you escalated. So don't. Respond, just not the way they expect. She writes one line, HOA shut down access first. Everything you do has to point back to that, she says. Not noise, not attitude, access. I tell her, they keep saying they control the entrance. Sarah grins. Control is what people say when ownership is weak. That road is the only way in for you and for them. Then she asks the only question that really matters. Who actually owns the only entrance? The air in her office is heavy. No phone, no email, just the hum of the AC and old secrets. If the HOA doesn't own it, their whole power play is built on sand. If they do well, I know where I stand. Don't argue in the hallway. You argue on paper, Sarah says, and hands me a folder. Deeds, easements, transfers. Let them talk. Silence isn't guilt when you're building facts. I leave her office, sun too bright, phone heavy in my pocket. They can flood inboxes, whisper to neighbors, but they can't spin what's on file. County records, boring, powerful, the kind of thing no one questions until they absolutely have to. County records office. The clerk, Maria, asks my name, types it in, pauses. That pause means something. I ask about the entrance road. She pulls up a parcel map. There it is. The road the only way in, and right there she shows me. This segment never changed hands. A scan pops up. Old deed, my father's name, my grandfather's. It was never transferred to the HOA. That lands like a door opening. So when they blocked me, they were using something they didn't own. Maria says, people assume what's been used forever belongs to whoever uses it. Not always true. She hands me copies thick with ink and certainty. As I leave, she says, be careful how you use that. Facts don't shout, but they get heard. Back home, the story's already running wild. Cars slow near my drive, blinds twitch. My phone chimes, emergency HOA meeting, community safety concern. Voicemail from Helen, a non-compliant property owner attempting to disrupt community access. She never uses my name, just a label. A text from a neighbor. They say you're holding us hostage. I reply. They shut down my access first. I'm handling it legally. Truth. Short enough to remember. Then a lawyer's letter, cease and desist. You are interfering with community operations, threatening peaceful enjoyment. I look at the sedan, at the guy who handed me the letter. Tell Helena I got it. Tell council to read county records. He just rolls up the window and drives away. That night I drive past the packed clubhouse, heads turned toward Helena, her crowd, her narrative. I don't go in. Instead, I pull up on the hill, look down at the entrance, the only entrance, calm on the outside, but with a legal fracture running underneath. Sarah calls, don't go to that meeting. She'll bait you into being the story. I laugh. She's calling me a threat, turning it into community safety. Sarah says, that's what people with weak ownership do. They confuse use with rights. Don't punish residents, don't retaliate. Stop them from using what isn't theirs through process, not force. That settles in my chest. Not revenge, clarity. Next morning, orange cones, barrier across the entrance. Authorized access only. See administrator. Guard with a clipboard, news van lurking. First resident rolls up annoyed. What's going on? Access requires authorization. And when Helena storms up, sharp as a tack, demanding the barrier come down, the guard just asks, do you own this entrance? Silence. I step forward, voice steady. They shut down my access first. I just stopped letting them use what wasn't theirs. Helena spins, furious. You can't do this. I didn't. The records did. Phones come out, someone starts recording. A crowd gathers, questions fly. For the first time, the story is out in the open sunlight on every lie. Helena's jaw tightens. For once, no words. The guard repeats, do you own this entrance? Silence. Cameras catch it all. At the emergency meeting, the place is packed. Helena tries to steer the crowd, harmony, misunderstandings, but people start asking real questions. You shut down his access first, right? The truth starts spreading. That entrance was never yours. And when a county rep stands up, quiet authority, and says, the entrance road was never transferred to the HOA, it remains privately held, you could feel the whole room shift. Helena tries to spin it. We believed we had authority. But you didn't, someone says. It's out. On the local news, the anchor repeats it. Access actions not supported. County records confirm the road was never theirs. At the diner, people shake their heads, relief, surprise, a little bit of shame. Sarah draws up an agreement, plain language, no drama. Who owns what? Who maintains what? Who uses what with permission? HOA gets to use it under conditions, transparency, no more pretending. By afternoon, neighbors wave again. Didn't realize they shut you out first, someone admits. Guess we all learned something. The barrier comes down, a new notice, entrance road, private property access granted per agreement. Life returns normal but different, solid. At home, I organize the papers, deeds, agreements, emails, label the folder, put it away. Neighbors stop by a little quieter, but the tension's gone. A kid rides his bike, his mom on the phone, and for once, nobody's looking over their shoulder. That first notice had felt absolute. But the truth was always simpler than the language. They shut down my access. What ended it? The entrance they used wasn't theirs. No shouting, no drama, just records ownership and refusing to pretend otherwise. I go back to the post office, pin my summary next to the bake sale flyer, clear, honest. A man nods. Good to have it out in the open. That was the point. And as the sun sets, I realize power only matters if it respects what it doesn't own. The neighborhood healed not by force, but by finally putting the truth where everyone could see it. Boundaries matter, records matter, and justice. Sometimes it's as simple as finally refusing to move the line. So here's my question to you. When does authority cross the line? When does procedure become power play? Where do you draw your boundaries, and what would you do if someone tried to redraw them for you? Tell me what you'd do, because after all this, I sure learned where I stand.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.